Hi everybody, my name is Christina Monaco and I am the owner and founder of Bespoke Aesthetics here in beautiful sunny West Palm Beach, Florida. And today we're going to be talking about a treatment that I absolutely love. So in Florida, we typically are always wearing skirts, shorts, bathing suits, t-shirts, tank tops. And so we don't just treat here at Bespoke only typically face and neck. We really are treating the full body. And today I'm going to show you all one of my favorite treatments using Hyperdilute Radiesse and also my favorite non-invasive treatment, Sofwave. So this is for somebody who is looking to create maximum collagen because, like I said, in Florida, having excessive sun exposure, in addition to that, having, years of sun exposure prior, it's typically not just that previous summer of being outside, it's usually the buildup of, being outside for years upon years that eventually we have that collagen breakdown. And one of the questions people always ask me is collagen really something that I need to be taking? And my answer to that is yes, but it has to be a specific type of collagen. In my professional opinion, I really typically tell my patients that they should be using marine-based collagen products, not animal or bovine type of collagen. And that's because marine-based collagen molecules are small enough to absorb and penetrate into our body, and that allows for maximum absorption. So what we're going to be doing today is, like I said, Hyperdilute Radiesse. And if you're unfamiliar with Radiesse, Radiesse is a calcium-derived product. It is not a hyaluronic acid filler. That is a very big difference. As we hear patients saying all the time, is it a filler? And although I am injecting it into the patient, it is not a typical hyaluronic acid based filler. It is derived of a totally different product, and that product happens to be calcium based. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it so that it's thin enough to inject into the patient's chest. And the reason why we're doing that is for the crepey skin that once we get to a certain age, a lot of us have. It's not only on the chest, but it also could be on the arms. Sometimes it's even on the top of the thigh or where the knees are. So I'm going to show you what that crepey skin texture looks like. I do have some numbing on her chest right now, but what I want you to do is I want you to put your arms together and squeeze the chest. And so it's all of those lines in there, all of those crepey lines. I'll even show you if I have her lie back a little bit, you could even see even more all of those crepey lines in here. And that is what we are seeing when a patient has collagen loss, is that we'll notice the lines, that's from years of sun damage, that's from breakdown of collagen and elastin fibers, that's from not using medical grade skincare products, which is a whole nother topic that I should talk about one day. But we're ready to go. She's numb. We're going to start with the Softwave first, and then I'm going to switch to the Hyperdilute Radiesse. And typically what happens is patients are asking, how do I get rid of it? So we are using Hyperdilute Radiesse, and we're going to be injecting that in the chest, and that is going to allow over time the body to build natural collagen. And it's going to get rid of all of that crepey skin texture. And then we're going to follow it up with a treatment called Sofwave. And Sofwave is a non-invasive skin tightening treatment that uses the best of the best technology when it comes to ultrasound. It's going to allow the skin to lift, it's going to allow the skin to tighten, and this is a beautiful combination for anybody that's looking to have less crepey skin, more of a tighter, firmer décolleté or chest without having to walk around with years of crepey skin from sun damage. There are actually 12 ways in which we age, and 3 of them happen to be what we see on the surface or on the external part of our body, and 9 of them happen to be internal. But the 3 that we see is typically volume loss, collagen loss, and change of bone or change of shape. And so today what we're focusing on is creating as much collagen as we can so that we can get beautiful, glowing, healthy skin. I am going to be using a dilute solution in the Radiesse, and the reason why I'm doing that is so that it is thin enough to inject on the chest. This is really going to allow the chest to have maximum amount of collagen stimulation using this Hyperdilute. So I'm just getting everything prepared. So this is definitely something that I'm sure people may or may not have seen before or have had treatment before, but one of the things that I love about what I get to do is giving patients that bespoke, hence the name of my practice, treatment, and giving them the best possible outcome. And the way that we do that a lot of times is not just like cookie cutter approaches where it's the same treatment for every patient. It's doing treatments that are specific to the patient, specific for their age, specific to what they're trying to achieve, listening to what their concerns are. And a lot of times it's more than just doing one treatment modality. You know, there's a lot of tools that I get to use. I say there's a lot of tools in my toolbox. A lot of times it isn't just one treatment modality. It's several treatments that we have to do, meaning injections with laser, injections with radio frequency, injections with sometimes using tox, you know, so there's a lot of different things. I also use a cannula because in this area, we want to use something that is going to glide through the tissue, and, you know, with any sort of injection, there's always a possibility of bruising. There could be, you know, some swelling, there could be some redness, but with a cannula, we do everything to mitigate or reduce that risk of bruising. It's an area that, you know, obviously can be covered, but patients are busy, they do a lot, they're very social, so we want to mitigate and reduce as much bruising as possible. So I'll use a cannula. I have my extra product that I need for the, you know, to continue using. I'll continue to mix it and we're ready to go. So Softwave is really very simple treatment for the patient. The patient really feels only about 2 seconds of heat, and that's how the ultrasound waves are delivered. So we press this little button on the skin, like where we're treating. The patient will feel nothing for 4 seconds, they'll feel some heat, and we just go through the areas. So we'll start with this first, and then after we're done, we're gonna move on to the hyperdilute Radiesse. Typically, patients need, when we break down like how many syringes would I need. So for a chest, because it's a larger surface area, we typically tell patients you'll need at least 2 syringes, sometimes more depending on the surface area, but usually it's a minimum of 2 syringes. Now what happens is people also ask, do you see results right away? You're not going to see results right away. You're going to see a difference immediately after, but in the case of how much time does it take, you'll start to notice results usually by that 6-week follow-up. I'll look in the mirror, we'll look at your before and after photos. We can definitely see that collagen change. We can definitely see how there's less crepey skin. So we say a 4-week, an 8-week, a 12-week follow-up is perfect. Usually what I tell patients for a follow-up is, you know, we know that there could be a possibility of bruising. I use a cannula, so that's a blunt tip, so we do everything to reduce the risk of bruising. The other thing we want to make patients aware of is you should continue to use your medical grade skincare products that are going to help build healthy collagen, products that are going to help restore, take away all of that old collagen that's no longer serving the skin. We want to reintroduce healthy collagen. We're doing that with this treatment and the Softwave treatment, but also you want to make sure you're doing things at home that are going to help increase the risk of as much collagen as possible. And I tell people, protect your investment. It's very important to use medical grade skincare products. You know, unfortunately, we spend a lot of money. We go to these stores and we buy things that, you know, look great, they look pretty, they have great branding, you see it on social media, but if they are not medical grade, and what I mean by that is being tested, proven through biopsies to show that there is change, then unfortunately you're wasting your money. So we just finished, I finished both sides. Of course, we want to treat both sides. We used actually a total of 3 syringes. Like I said, when you have a larger surface area, sometimes you need that extra product. So we went into a 3rd syringe, which is great because we're going to have even more collagen stimulation. How was it?
Fine.
Totally fine. And So what I tell patients usually afterward is they ask, do we need another treatment? Let's see what happens over the next couple of months. We don't really know if you'll need another treatment. It really depends on what it looks like after we get to like that 6-month, 8-month mark. But we did an amazing treatment today to build as much collagen as we can. We did hyperdilute Radiesse with a ultrasound lifting and tightening treatment that's non-invasive called Sofwave. So if this is something that interested you, or you know somebody that may be interested in this treatment, I encourage you to share this, leave me a comment, and I would love to see you in my practice here in West Palm Beach, Florida. You can follow us at Bespoke Aesthetics PB or visit our website, www.bespokeaestheticspb.com.